Hello. A live wouldn't be a live from me unless I started the live with me stroking my hair. I thought I would do a kind of lunch and learn, and I'm just going to pull my little snug thing over me. So, the best laid plans and owning our values. So, if you are slightly admiring my huskier sounding voice, it's because this is part of the reason why my best laid plans didn't go as intended. Now, I had an absolutely, I'd say jam-packed day, but a very focused day. I knew what I was doing. I knew I would be joining my friends in on Clubhouse first thing for a bit of a boost. And I'm glad that I did, because I got to hear that Beju has released his book today. So if you want to get hold of Beju's book, I think you can get it on Kindle for 99p. I did. Then let me know and I can send you the link. If you're one of my Vibers, I'll share it in there. And if you're connected to me on Facebook, I'll put it somewhere down here. So I just want to make sure. Yes, I've got the link. I will copy and paste it in here. So that's the first thing. And I'll tag Beju in there, because I'm sure he's having a nuts day today. Okay, so that's Beju's book that is out today, and you can grab it today for 99p. And it's called Play Your Game. It also will ask you a series of questions, very short questions, and you'll be able to get hold of that. But best laid plans went to go to rest. My intention this morning, after joining Clubhouse, and if you are watching, you know I'm nosy by nature, and if you're open to it, do tell me where in the world you're watching from. And if you admire my husky sounding voice, I have a horrible feeling that in a few days' time, I will lose my voice completely. I've just got this feeling. So I'm not going to do the amount of live streams and trainings that I was planning to do. Anyway, best laid plans. So this morning, I wanted to start my day writing. So I'm now a member of a second writing group. And we've had the opportunity for 3 days this week to sit and write for an hour. So I did that, but I noticed as I got up that I just wasn't feeling really good this morning. And you'll hear a lot about hustle, a lot about grind, a lot about pushing through. And that's not always the best thing to do. So whether you're watching this on LinkedIn and you are recently connected with me, so have never seen one of my lives before, oh my gosh, where have you been? You've missed so much. Maybe you met me face to face, in person at a networking event. Maybe you heard me speak or saw me speak. Maybe you're just kind of curious and thinking, well, my friend is connected to you, so I thought I would come over. So let me introduce myself. As it says along there, my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm a visibility queen. I'm actually known as, and I have to say this slowly, the queen of being seen. And as I point out each word, my computer is now shaking. But I'm known as the queen of being seen, and have been since 2010. Because you being seen, you being heard, you being visible is literally my thing. It's why I get out of bed and I get excited. I look forward to seeing you shine. So today and tomorrow, I had booked my ticket to go to the Excel, because there's a sales and marketing show that's going on there. So if you want to know what that is, just use your search engine, have a look, and maybe you can go down there. But when I woke up and I wasn't feeling great, I thought, let me take a bit of a break. Let me just take it easy. There's always tomorrow. Let me stay in the warmth, wrap myself up, drink lots of water. I've had the delicious lunch. Gosh, talk about exposing yourself. I've just had my delicious lunch of noodles with Brussels sprouts. Yes, you heard that right. Added some vegetables in there. I absolutely adore Brussels sprouts, so that's what I had. That's what I fancied. And when you're not feeling like you want to eat anything, it's important to eat whatever you like. Foodies, please don't be offended. I do like good quality food as well, but I also eat some strange foods and some rubbish at times. So I wanted to share why best laid plans and owning your value or values actually go hand in hand. And thank you for those of you that are dropping on and saying hi. Let me know where in the world you're viewing from. I'm very nosy. I like to know, and I know that I have the UK, obviously, where I'm based, but I also have Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, although it's the middle of the night in Hong Kong, India. I've had Turkey. I'm always fascinated where people are watching from. So I wanted to share why, if you're not feeling 100%, whether you work for yourself or work for someone else, it's never a good idea just to push through. It just never is. You don't get the best out of yourself. They don't get the best out of you. And usually when you've come down with a little cold or something like that, it's because your body needs a moment. It needs a moment to calm down. Maybe there's been a lot of stuff going on. Maybe you've been busy. Maybe there's been emotional pressure. The reason of why isn't relevant here, but it's important to know when to press pause or when to stop or when to just calm right down. So I thought I would start this by sharing a couple of values that I think run through me and run through my business. So anyone who has worked for a company or a brand or has their own business will often be told, what are your company values? What's your mission? What's your vision? And things like this. And this has been an iteration over the last 12 years, because I've been doing this for a while. And I wanted to share them with you because I wanted you to see how they can play out on the court of life. So I reviewed these and I actually shared these with my accountability buddy about probably a couple of months ago now. And here are my top 5 values. So I want anyone that I meet, interact with, work with, who sees my stuff, free, paid or otherwise, to have the confidence to do things differently, not to be a disruptor for disruption's sake, but to do things authentically in their way. And I believe in order to do that, the 5 key things that are most important, like for me and for you, but specifically, these are my values and yours could be different. Number 1, first and foremost, kind communication. Now, that might sound a bit trite, but if you think about it, even when things aren't going well, like let's say, for example, this didn't happen, but let's say the exhibition were phoning all the attendees today, and there I am feeling rough. I have the choice when I pick up the phone to say, what do you want? I don't feel well. Just go away. Or I have the choice to still use kind communication. Let's talk about some other things that people don't talk about in business. And that is sometimes there's some tough conversations to have. Either you can't pay or they're not paying you, depending on which side of the business you sit. They're not enjoying the experience. They're struggling. They don't think you're any good. That comes that way. I get asked a lot by various different people, mostly clients, well, not mostly clients, sometimes clients and sometimes friends and peers in the industry. Oh my gosh, I just received this email and they've said this and I gave them everything and it's 10 months afterwards and I don't know what to do. Those present good opportunities for kind communication. And also in personal and business relationships, we are always in relationship with people. And I like to err on the side of kindness and kind communication. And if I don't think I can, sometimes I'll just pause myself and say, I'm not sure that I can respond to that because it could have a little bit of something in it that's not right. So rather than just respond for response sake, I will pause. And anyone who ever works with me, whether they freelance or do any work for me, I encourage them to do the same. So this is why it was important to name those. So number 1, kind communication. Number 2, absolute integrity. And by that, I mean no white lies. Absolute integrity, no white lies. What this actually means is that sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes things don't work out. And very recently, I was having a private conversation with somebody. So I'm not going to tell you who the somebody was or what it was about. I'm not even going to give you the context. But I think when we decide that we're going to go for absolute integrity, it means doing the right thing, even if nobody would ever find out. Doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. doing the right thing so that you can leave in peace. And the reason I added to that value, no white lies, is quite often when we get upset or, angry or passionate about something, it can cause us to look at a scenario and just add a little bit of embellishment, a bit of exaggeration, which is a white lie. And it doesn't actually serve you. It doesn't serve the person or the people that you're speaking to. And recently in this conversation, shall remain nameless, we were talking about customer service. And as the person offering the customer service, not just because your boss might pay you to, or just because your business pays you to, but sometimes you drop a ball. And if you drop a ball, it's always good to own up and explain, as much as you can why. Not from a place of feel bad for me, this went wrong, and you're the customer and you didn't get what you needed, and that's really bad, but me. Like, act with integrity, speak the truth. People honor the truth, and people will forgive a lot more when you are 100% truthful with them. I'm sure I spoke about this on another live, but very recently, I had a call scheduled in my diary, and one thing led to another. And by the time I realised I'd missed the call, it was like 50 minutes after the call should have happened. I was mortified. Now, this isn't something that I do very often, thankfully. In fact, the last time it happened was like in 2011. I remember it well. So twice in all of these years. But that doesn't mean anything to the person who turned up on time, cleared their calendar, sat there waiting, and then the call went. And the call was only for 30 minutes. So I straight away, as soon as I realised, I sent them an email, I sent them a message, and I apologised. And the reason for the apology wasn't to make me feel better. It was to let them know, truthfully, I 100% wholeheartedly apologise. So when I talk about no white lies and absolute integrity, that's what I mean. Generous acknowledgement of others. I think this is really important. As a visibility specialist, people will expect that I come and promote just my work, my products, my services. And sometimes I do. But quite often, as I kind of bumble through life, I come across, really good people, really good products, really good services. And whenever that happens, I share that with you. If a quote really sings in my heart, rings in my ears, and I want to share it, I'll share it with you and I'll tell you where it came from. This to me is super important. So when I say, certain things, and I know that somebody else has said it, I'll give them props. In fact, I did this inadvertently, not even thinking about this content, but I did this inadvertently at the beginning of this video. I mentioned that I went into a Clubhouse room this morning. I mentioned that it was Baiju Solanki's book launch today, and that I'd bought it, and that you might be interested in it too. So I posted a link to his book. I'm not getting commission for it. I wasn't asked to do it. I'm not getting paid for it. I've actually met him in the flesh. In fact, he's one of the few people online that I'd actually met in the flesh online first, and then met them again online. So, he's worked really hard on the book. He shared the story of like how he wrote it and stuff like that. And I thought, let's give him some props, because when you're writing your book, I'm sure that you will want somebody to promote it and share it, and sometimes I'm not able to promote and share. I just don't have the bandwidth or the time, or whatever comes up. But if and where I can, I will always share people's work. So generous acknowledgement of others, I think, is really important. Generous acknowledgement of myself is also important, when and where it lies, but generous acknowledgement of others, trying to pass other people's work off as your own, using their words to make a fast buck, in my eyes, isn't cool. In other people's eyes, it might be good, and off you go ahead and do that. And, that's cool. The fourth one, transformational results through desired outcomes. That sounds like a whole word salad. And what that basically means is whenever I speak to people, what I'm listening out for are the words that they're saying and what their desires are. Because interestingly, in this job, especially as a visibility specialist, I've noticed that sometimes people do have a desire and they'll voice it to a certain extent and then stop themselves, correct themselves, edit themselves, or dumb it down a bit. And this, even the most kind of, well-known, most successful people I've seen behind the scenes where they do this too. No one's exempt from this, nor am I. So I want them to have a kind of a series of transformational results, a series of light bulb moments, a series of aha, insight. Oh my gosh, that was a nugget right there. And I want them to keep doing that so that they can reach their desired outcomes. Now, the interesting thing about this that I've been able to see over the years is that sometimes people will reach their desired outcomes quickly, and sometimes it might take a bit longer. So my work isn't about magic pills, but it's a sort of work. It's like teach a man to fish and they can fish forever. And I remember distinctly one particular person I had a VIP day with, and they said, today I want to do this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And I said, well, it's only one day. We don't have that much time. We'll do as much as we can, but trust in the process and know that this will keep going. Keep taking these steps, because always will point you into the best path for the thing that you do, the people you want to reach, the places you want to be seen, where you want to speak, how you want to stand out. And it's like, I'll kind of like navigate you and say, you're walking in this direction. I would suggest that you go in this direction. And 9 times out of 10, we know that we're on the money because it feels good for them and it feels good for me. And we get excited and all that kind of stuff. And this particular person came back to me, I think it was at least 3 or 4 years later, and said, I remember the day when you told me that. And deep down, I thought, I don't know. I don't think that, I don't think, that I think that I need this, this, and this, and this to do that. And I just thought I'd let you know, you were absolutely right. I didn't need any of those things. And I've gone ahead and I've done the things that I wanted to do. And I'm doing the stuff that I really wanted to do. That, come on now, that warms my heart. That warms my heart. So I think it's really important that people get their transformational results through their desired outcomes, not what somebody else thinks they should do or wants for them. And then the 5th value is all around whoever hires or books me, I always want to make them look like a rock star. So I've got a forthcoming program coming up, and I wanted to have had the rest of the stuff out today, that you could have seen it, and that's now not going to happen because I'm going to go to bed after this. But I've got a forthcoming program that, although it starts in January, for those people that want to jump in and say yes to it now, we'll actually get a bit of one-on-one time until the official 12 weeks starts in January. And this program is called Be Seen, Speak Up and Stand Out. And the reason that I've done this is because I have been speaking a lot recently. I have been sharing to a lot of groups, a lot of really go-getting business people, a lot of authors, a lot of speakers, a lot of one-man band businesses. But I've also been in the room with some really massive global brands. And all of you think that you have got an individual problem, but when it comes to being visible, there are things that happen. So many of you are confident, you're happy to be seen, you feel ready to take the next step, whether that's to do more video or to speak publicly more, or to put yourself out there more online, or to put yourself out there more offline, networking, so on and so forth. So you feel ready to be seen, but you are concerned or worried that the people you want to work with aren't going to know that it's you, aren't going to know what you do, aren't going to see you, aren't going to find you. And you know that some of them have already, but you like that a bit more. One of the people I spoke to called it client acquisition. So, if you're looking for new client acquisition, then this will be for you. Someone else I spoke to said, but how do I just get more clients? And somebody else said that they're worried because of the things they do. They offer like a smorgasbord of really juicy stuff, and they're worried that when they tell people about it, that they're not clear. So how do they have all of those things be seen? Those are probably three of the most common questions I get asked a lot. After the next piece, the speak up piece, which is all around feeling that you can't really speak up about something because maybe you're not the authority. I've heard, Jenny, I'm not qualified as a doctor. I didn't go to university. It's the first time I've done this, in this way. I've been known for doing this thing for years, and now I've switched to doing that. So where people feel or tend to feel a little bit more heat on the imposter syndrome tends to be where they have either pivoted or they've gone through an evolution where they're doing something slightly different than they did before. And that different thing they're doing than they did before is a thing that they've for a long time really wanted to do. So to them, it feels like a new proposition. But, as recent conversations will confirm, there's always been that desire and always usually been a thread of them doing that in the work that they've been doing before. So sometimes it feels harder to speak up about it. Some of you want to speak up about it on video. Some of you want to speak up about it on bigger stages. Some of you are saying to yourself, it's time. I need to really put myself out there. And you're looking at it from a personal branding perspective. And you're like, right, I'm going to get myself out there. Next year, I want to hit the ground running. And I'm passionate about this. I've already been booked for a number of gigs for next year, which feels a bit strange. It feels really far in advance. But I'm really looking forward to speaking on International Women's Day. Already been booked for that. There's a couple of speaking gigs that I've been booked for May, one of which I'm not sure that I'm going to actually accept it, but that's okay. So my ability not only to speak when it comes to speaking, but to speak up and say yes to something when no might be the thing people expect, or to say no to something when people are expecting a yes. So I'm going to be talking you and taking you through how you do that. And then finally, you want to do all of this so that you stand out, so that the work you do is seen as different, so that the work that you do feels in integrity and in alignment with you and how you do it, so that you're not following kind of people's you must do this, you must do that, and kind of walk away feeling like you need either to take a shower or that you are just not in integrity, or you're being told it's a numbers game, just send loads of messages to strangers. It will get you seen and it will get you to stand out, but not in the way that you perhaps would like to. And the thing that I know about you is that you came on this planet to make a difference, and it might have taken you a while to realize that, but now you're there, you're going full on for it. So I think it's really important for you to be able to know how to do that for you, for the business you do, for the audience you serve and the people you serve, and to maintain credibility in a way that just feels real and authentic as you. So all of that to say, today I should have been attending an exhibition, but I'm not well, so I took the decision to stay at home. I'm about to have a sleep, and then I'm also going to read a bit later if my eyes stop aching. So I hope that this encourages you to be more of who you are and not to push through, because in order to be seen, in order to speak up, in order to stand out, you need to be able to convey what you do with credibility, to sell your services, to make an impact. You need to know which stories are the relevant stories to pull out and share with people, whether you're speaking them, recording them, or writing them. And it's also really important to know how and where to be visible so the people that you're looking for can find you even more easily. So sorry that I don't have a fancy pantsy pitch or sales page today, but keep looking out. And I wanted to just talk about this today before we get lost in the big pile of Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you're curious about how you can be part of this very intimate group, or maybe like some of my clients at the moment, you're saying to yourself, I do want to do this, but I actually want to do this privately with you, Jenny, one-to-one, or I don't want to do it over 12 weeks. I just want to get together with you in a room for a day, strategize, get things done, go away, take my plan away and start to implement with a bit of guidance. Then all you need to do is go to thequeenofbeingseen.com and you'll be able to schedule a call to have a chat with me, and we'll work out what's the best next kind of move and best next step for you to take to go towards where you need to be and get your own transformational outcome. Thank you so, so much for watching. I'd love it if you share this, and I'd love it if you're watching on YouTube and haven't subscribed to this channel yet. What are you waiting for? I'd love you to do that. I'm going to stop now because my voice is about to go. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.